Hello, good evening. Welcome to Small Home Comforts. My name is Beth, and I'm here in my book corner to have a Thursday night bookish chat. Have I got a book haul for you today? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to share about some treasures that I found. I think that I probably pretty recently did a different book haul. Video, but I had nearby a library sale that I went to this past weekend. Um, and I'm just so excited to show you guys. I wished that I could bring you all with me. They had a wall full of vintage books, like tables and tables. The whole back wall was lined with vintage books. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wish that I could bring all of you guys with me to this book sale. They were $1 or $2 a piece. Oh, I just came away with so many cool, exciting old vintage books, and I am so looking forward to sharing them with you tonight. So that is going to be what I'm going to do. So if you're here, let me know in the comments. I would love to say hello to you. I think I got everything set up already, so we should be good. Lori is here. Hello, welcome, Lori. Martha's here. Hi, Teresa and Susan and Marilyn. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you all. I'm glad you're here. Wait until I show you what I found. I am just super excited about this. In fact, I found so many good ones that I have to split it in two. So tonight we're only going to talk about some of them. I'm going to have to show you the rest of them some other time because there was just so many good ones. So Megan, hello, welcome. I see you there. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Karen, hi. Oh, so good to see you all. Okay, first things first, tea, as we typically do. Um, if you were in my Instagram stories yesterday, I shared a story from another creator, and I'm going to tell you her name. Her name is Kristen M. Meredith. That's the name of the account on Instagram. And she shared an apple cider chamomile tea. No, no. Yeah, apple cider chamomile. Instead of tea, she got her apple cider hot and brewed chamomile tea in it. And so if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. If you weren't, then go look up Kristen M. Meredith on Instagram. But I decided, so many of you were like texting me like, that's interesting. What about that? That I was like, you know what? We have to do it on our Thursday night bookish chat. So here it is. Here it is. I have my hot apple cider. I have my chamomile tea brewing in there. This is the kind I have tonight, 3 chamomile from Puka tea. And we're going to give it a go. So you have to let me know. Does anybody else have this tonight? Because I know some of you were in my Instagram stories yesterday talking about it. So I'll be interested to see. Maybe we should do this together. So Jean is here. Hello, Jean. Jean is a new subscriber. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Susan said it sounded amazing. We're going to try it, Susan, right now. As we go, does anybody else do this with their tea when you brew it? I like pull it through and flip it under the tea, like the string, so that it has like um, a little holding on thing, so that when you pour the liquid in, the whole thing doesn't plop in there. So I do that with my tea bags when I'm not using loose leaf tea. So Karen says it's pretty good. She could have steeped it longer. Karen's giving it a try. I've been steeping mine for a little bit. So let me take the tea bag out. We're gonna give it a try and see how it goes. I'm intrigued. It was something new. So Martha was telling me that she heard and Martha's here tonight. So tell me if I get it wrong, Martha, but Martha was saying that some people are having apple cider floats, which I'm assuming is vanilla ice cream and cold apple cider. I don't know. I know that my kids like to put whipped cream on top of their apple cider. So tis the season, I guess, tis the season to try something new with apple cider. So here we go. Let's give it a try. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I like it. I wasn't sure how I was going to how I was going to like it, but it's good. Oh, my eyes are watering because it was so hot. I'm going to take another sip though. Mm, it's good. I can affirm. Kristen M. Meredith, that's the name of the Instagram person I got this idea from. She picked a good one. It's a good one. I can recommend it. So Karen said it was pretty good too. Do I use a tea cover while the tea bag is steeping? Not usually. Sometimes I do after I'm done steeping to keep it warm, but typically I do not use a cover. So, Martha said yes, she saw it on the menu at the farm at a farm today. So apparently this is a thing. Whether you like it hot with chamomile tea or you like it cold with ice cream in it, I may be have to gonna try that next. So I don't know. Um, Going back to the cover of the thing, I found so I put my tea bag in this, but I found this at the Goodwill store. It's just a small little dish, and I'm using it for my tea bags and also, when you brew the loose leaf tea, in like the stainless steel, brewers or whatever, I've been using this for putting that in as well. So just a little something I found probably for $1 or 2 at the Goodwill store. So Megan is drinking Bengal spice tea brewed in apple cider. She says it's yummy. I see Jacqueline is over on Instagram. Hello, Jacqueline. I can't put your comment up here because Instagram doesn't play nicely with this. I can only do it from YouTube or Facebook. But I see you there, Jacqueline. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Susan says she's gonna have to try it because she loves cider. So. It is good. Bengal spice tea in the apple cider. I'm going back to Megan's comment here because I got distracted. So this is instead of the chamomile, huh? That sounds really good. A little bit of extra spice in there. We're gonna have to try that kind next, I think. I think this is a new thing, for the fall. I'm kind of liking the idea. It sounds really good. So Jacqueline is drinking English breakfast tea. So we've got all of our teas going. Martha's saying the vintage salt dishes are perfect for tea bags too. So keep that in mind if anybody needs to have a little tea holder, the vintage salt dishes. That sounds lovely. Oh, so good. So, all right, are you guys ready for this? I am so excited. I just kept finding books. The book sale I went on, I think Friday, and they were selling them for like $1 or 2 a piece. And then they said, come back on Sunday. You can get a whole bag, anything you can fit in the bag for $8. So I'm not even going to be able to show you everything I came away with tonight because it was just too many things. So let's start with middle grade um middle grade ish books. So I have two of those. The first one, if you were here a couple weeks ago, you saw my Happy Hollisters stack. There were 14 of them. In fact, I have them right here. And I found a 15th one. It's a little worse for wear, I think, here, but it is the same editions that the other ones were. And I was like, I have to get it. It was not part of the stat, like it was not a duplicate title, and it was the only one there. And I was like, I'm in. I'm in. I've got, I've got to have it. So you remember I showed you on those the inside end papers. So this is the same one, but I was really excited to be able to add that into my collection. So that is the first one. Oh, Susan is drinking caramel snickerdoodle tea. Is that the one from Plum Deluxe? That one was yummy. I remember that I had that one. In fact, I think I put that in one of my book boxes last fall. I think that was in the fall book box. So yummy, caramel snickerdoodle. All right. And the other one that I have is one that I haven't read these since childhood, and I would like to reread them. So you'll have to tell me, do any of you know this one? Miss Pickerell. This is Miss Pickerell and the Weather Satellite. So Miss Pickerell is a whole series. This one is, let's see, it's not the first one. Miss Pickerell Goes to Mars is the first one. And these books were started by Ellen MacGregor, but she passed away, I think, after four of them were written and had left like extensive notes for subsequent books to, but she just hadn't written them. And so another author by the name of Dora Pantell took over and continued writing them for a while based on her notes. So some of them are just by Ellen MacGregor, and some of them are by Ellen MacGregor and Dora Pantell. And this is one of the ones that is by both. So, oh my goodness. I haven't read Miss Pickerell since I was a little girl. Miss Pickerell is kind of a little bit of a prickly older lady. So much fun to read about. In fact, if anybody is doing Spinster September, Miss Pickerell would be a good choice because she's an elderly lady. I believe was she in I can't remember if she's an ex-librarian or if the author was a librarian, but I kind of think Miss Pickerell um, may have been the librarian. I can't remember. But anyway, she ends up going on these adventures. And these are a little bit of science fiction for middle grade. And they started in the 1950s, I want to say. This particular one was published in 1971. So I think they started in the mid to late 1950s when Ellen MacGregor was writing them. And then they continued on through the 50s and 60s and into the 70s as well. So, and maybe even into the 80s. But I want to show you um, some of the pictures. Here she is with her telescope, and they're little science fiction books. And I remember reading that the author really wanted to kind of get children more into like science fiction and space age kind of things because that was the kind of the time around the mid-century. But she has that old-fashioned phone. Aren't these just delightful illustrations? So, oh, it was so lovely to find a Miss Pickerell because I think I have Miss Pickerell on ebooks because I wanted to revisit some of those stories as an adult, but I don't think I've gotten to them yet. I just kind of have them hanging out there in my ebook land. Um, but this gives a little synopsis about this particular one, the weather satellite one. Miss Pickerell likes nothing better than peace and quiet, but as her countless fans know, life in Square Toe County is full of unexpected drama. This time, the weather satellites and the weather station computers are causing the trouble. They keep forecasting sunshine and clear skies, while on Square Toe Mountain, there are torrential rains, thunder, lightning, and high wind. So, Miss Pickerell has to come to the rescue. So I don't remember this particular story, but I just remember really enjoying Miss Pickerell. And so when I saw her name on there, I was like, I got to get that book. So that was my second one. So, oh, you guys remember Miss Pickerell? Some see, I loved Miss Pickerell as a kid too. I just I don't remember if I read them all, but I kind of think that I probably did. Um, she's just it's just such a fun middle grade book. Lori's never heard of her. It's just so fun. I would recommend Miss Pickerell. Megan is saying that she recently picked up a set of Happy Hollisters from eBay because she read and loved them as a child. You know what, I feel like that with these middle grade, you're like, oh, the nostalgia of reading when you're young, it just kind of brings it back so much, which is one of the reasons I love middle grade. It's such a comfort read to read some of these old favorites, or if you missed them when you were a kid, like I missed all the Betsy Tacy books. It's just so fun to discover them. So, but yes, Miss Pickerell, I'm looking forward to rereading. You guys, this is so good. I'm gonna have to take another sip. Mm, okay, so those were my middle grade. The next little treasure I found is an author who I have been hearing about on Instagram by the name of Kathleen Norris. So if you follow Bab's Beloved Books or I think Pony Books maybe also talks about Kathleen Norris. Um, This is an author that I was not familiar with at all, but she wrote in the early to mid 20th century, and she was extremely prolific. She had, I think, right around 90 books, give or take. It might have been, I think I saw somewhere 93, but I ended up going back and like counting them. I was like, how many books are there? Right around 90 books. By Kathleen Norris. And I found three Kathleen Norris books. So I've never read anything by her, and I'm very interested in doing so because I like the mid-century books. I like the kind of cozy domestic fiction, which it seems like what this is. So I will have to report back. But from what I was reading, I think this was her first book. This one's called Mother, and it was published in 1911, it said. This particular edition, though, was printed in 1946. So it has these um, end papers, and then here's the inside cover. Um, but I'm so glad people thought to from all the way from 1946 kept their dust jackets because they're just so fun to see, just kind of like a slice of the time. But there's a whole introduction in this one called My Wife, and her husband wrote that. And so I'm looking forward to diving in. I haven't read the whole thing yet. I've just been kind of admiring the cover, but apparently this was the first one, according to my research today. And then the other two that I found were Passion Flower and Younger Sister. And so I'm looking forward to diving into these a little bit, getting a little bit more of a taste of Kathleen Norris. Like I said, I've never read any by her. This one was published for the first time in 1928. This particular edition is from 1944. And so yeah, this is a new, um, Megan is saying this is a new one for her, new one for me too. But I usually like female authors of the mid-century and mid 20th century, and so I thought I'd give it a go. This one was published 1929, also a 1944 copy. So you can see it. That look at her hairstyle; it's totally a 1940s hairstyle. So that's what I love about these dust jackets. You can kind of get an idea of when it was. Martha's saying that she loves those covers. They're so fun, right? Oh, Rebecca has Mother also. Haven't read it yet. We'll have to see Rebecca, huh? I don't know. This is a new author to me, so it looks like it's a new author to a lot of you. We'll see. She was very prolific. I went and looked up her bibliography today, and like I said, close to 90 books. So something new. So I'll have to report back and let you know um, about it. My next one is one I've never heard of. I know nothing about. I bought it specifically because of the cover and because of what's inside. So look at this cover. Faraway Fields, the Career of an Airline Publicity Girl by Patricia O'Malley. Never heard of this book. I have no idea who Patricia O'Malley is, but I looked at that cover and I was like, I want it. Um, and then on the inside, it is so it's this was noted there, autographed, and on the inside, it's signed by the author, 1949. And I was like, so this $65 means nothing. I did not pay $65. I paid two for this book, but I just think like, how fun is this? This is the author's handwriting to, um, is it Alicia Queensberry? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what that said. With happy memories of the old brain. I'm not sure what it says. I need somebody to to decipher for me. Patricia O'Malley, Washington, D.C., December 1949. So um charming Caddy Palmer works in the public relations department of a great airline in Washington, D.C. Promoted to handle special activities, a title created especially for her, and one which gives her talents wide latitude, she is assigned to write a script from which a motion picture can be made with the object of stimulating travel over the company's foreign roots. What happens when Caddy is sent abroad to help film her story makes an exciting and interesting story. We follow her on a tour through scenic Ireland, visiting the historic places which have been immortalized in song and legend, and falling in love as she did with that enchanted island. How could I not get that? I knew nothing about it, but I need to know more. And so and the fact that it was autographed and everything, and it has one of these back covers. I love this when they're like advertising more books because it gives you, I mean, I'm a sucker for book lists. Give me all the book lists. I want to know what was being published. So I'm just looking forward to just kind of sitting with this one and learning more. So isn't it a beautiful cover? Oh my goodness. Megan is saying it could be a treasure. I'm gonna treasure it. I love these ones. In 1949, she signed it. Let me see when it was published. Oh, it was published in 1949. So it's a first edition, I guess. Isn't that fun? Going back to Mother, Rebecca said, Mother is listed in a nonfiction book by Laura Ingalls Wilder as a best books for girls. That's so cool. I love little snippets of information like that. Thank you for sharing that, Rebecca. I would not have known that. Best books for girls. And I didn't even know about this Kathleen Norris. So I'm gonna have to report back on this, you guys. Um, all these, treasures that you get to discover. Oh my goodness. I love that you're sharing this. Thank you for sharing that, Rebecca. This is what I love about the book community. So fun. Megan is saying, sounds so fun. I'm Irish, so I would have picked it up too. Me too, Megan. I am a mixture of Irish and English. So that was also a pull for me as well. So Lori is enjoying this. Isn't it fun? So fun to find these. Okay, I've got three more. I am saving the I'm gonna save the best for last because I was so excited to find this. So two more and then we'll get to that one. Jacqueline on Instagram is saying it's in great condition. I think you talking about this one. I think, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to have found something totally like off the beaten path that I've never heard of before. So that's what's fun about book discovery, right? Okay, so the next one, if you follow me on Instagram. I already talked about this one. I did a little post about this one because I was excited to find it. This is Lark Rise to Candleford. I have not read this book, although I've heard good things. I did see the TV series, which was wonderful. It's a good one to watch this time of year, or I mean, really anytime, but a good time of year to watch Lark Rise to Candleford. It's very much about a small rural area in England, and Lark Rise is the I always get mixed up here. Lark Rise is the hamlet, a small little hamlet that several of the characters live in, and then Candleford is kind of the larger village nearby. Um, and so they are connected through the post office. They're connected through some of the characters that live in both places, but they are kind of like two separate places. This is just going off of the TV series that I've seen, and so you just kind of follow along as things happen, as people come in and out, as different things go on in the village, and so I've been wanting to actually read the book, and I got my hands on a copy. It was there. Um, at the library sale, and so I snagged it because it's been on my TBR list for a very long time, and I'm glad to finally have found it. So I'll be interested to see how it compares to the TV series, and if it's as good, or usually the book is better in my opinion. there are some exceptions to that. So I'll be interested to see how it compares. So Susan says she loves Lark Rise to Candleford so much. You first read it in the autumn years ago. It does seem a very autumnish book, which is one of the reasons that I posted it on Instagram because it does seem very autumn time. And I think I remember seeing, if you guys know Sarah Clarkson and Sally Clarkson, her mother, I remember Sarah Clarkson talking about watching it in the fall and how it was perfect, perfect to watch in the fall. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'll have to report back once I read it, but I'm looking forward to that one. All right, the next one that I have, I only got one by this author. So they had a whole bunch by this author, and I'm kind of kicking myself now for not having picked up more. I only picked up one, and when I went back the next time, the rest were gone. But I found Jean Stratton Porter's Her Father's Daughter. Um, I don't know anything about this book, but I do know Jean Stratton Porter. If you were listening to my bookish chat, maybe about a month ago or so, I was talking about The Keeper of the Bees, which I read in August and which I really enjoyed. Another by Jean Stratton Porter, which is wonderful, is the Girl of the Limberlost, which is a wonderful book. And so because I know the author and I know I like the author, I was like, I've got to get one. Look at this vintage copy. Oh my goodness. And see the end papers. Oh, Megan is saying, is it the first of a series or a standalone book? I think you're asking about Lark Rise to Candleford. Correct me if I'm wrong. This says that it's a trilogy. I believe that there's three in one, and I think it's the only one. I don't believe that there's any more. The TV series was a series. And so that one continued on. There are several seasons of that, maybe 3 or 4 seasons of the TV. I would have to look. I'm not sure. But this, I believe, is just the trilogy. And I believe it usually comes together. And so I don't believe there's any more. I think that kind of this book is, I mean, standalone in that all three are in here, but a series in that it is a trilogy. And let me look inside and see what the three is. Okay, so it's telling me in the table of contents that there's three. The trilogy is Lark Rise. This is Lark Rise. And then the second part is Over to Candleford. And then the third part is Candleford Green. I do not know if they were published separately or not. I really don't know. I don't know if you can find these books separately. I just know that I did know it was a trilogy, and from what I've seen, I've only seen trilogies, but I would assume that if there were vintage ones or something, I'm guessing that maybe they were published. Hold on, I'm reading this. Yes, they were published separately. Lark Rise was first published by Oxford University Press, 1939. Over to Candleford was published in 1941, and then Candleford Green was published in 1943, and then it says issued together under the present title in 1945. And so it sounds like all three were kind of like together for a significantly long time. But it looks like there may be some first editions somewhere where they're separate. So the first one is called Lark Rise. The second one is called Over to Candleford, and the third one is called Candleford Green. But I think you'll find them all together. If you find a book, I think that they are all together. So, um, oh, Marilyn is saying very pastoral. Yes, for the Lark Rise to Candleford. I know the series is, the TV series is, so it'll be interesting. I would imagine the book is as well. And then let me see. Oh, a lot of love. We're going back to Jean Stratton Porter, a lot of love for Freckles and Girl of the Limberlost. And Rebecca is saying she would have been so disappointed. I was disappointed. If I did leave them. I went back for them. They were gone. They were all of them these old editions. Um, And so I was quite disappointed that I had not done that. So this one was published originally 1921, copyright 1921. It does not say here when this particular edition was, but look at these illustrations. Can you see them? Isn't that fun? So this is the only one I got. Like I said, when I went back, they were all gone. I don't know anything about this title. Lori says that this author is on her TBR. This one is this. I really liked her Girl of the Limberlost as well. Like Megan is saying, Girl of the Limberlost was very good. So anyway, I wanted that one for my shelves, and I got it. So unfortunately, not the rest of the series though. Somebody else got that. But they didn't have Keeper of the Bees. If they had had Keeper of the Bees or Girl of the Limberlost, or even Freckles, I would have probably, I'm sure I would have taken it home with me. But no, they didn't have any of those, so I didn't do that. So I picked one that I liked the cover and I liked the title, and I left the rest. And gosh darn it, I wish I hadn't. But such is life, right? So must do it. Oh, Lori said she bought Girl of the Limberlost at a thrift store from the Library of the Indiana Classics Publisher. Don't you love seeing all these editions and where they've been from, where they've been? So fun. So fun to find these vintage books. So, all right, I told you I saved the best for last. So, are we ready for this? I am going to take another sip of this yummy apple cider. And here we go. This is a book that I did not even know existed, but I saw the author and I was like, cool, I'm getting it. How fun is this? It's a Miss Read book, but it's a nonfiction Miss Read book about, excuse me. Oh my gosh, the cider got cider got stuck there. It's about her two grandmothers. And this was published in 1983. And it says, look at this. Is this cool or what? I know so many of you love Miss Read. I know I've told you recently that Miss Read has just kind of been in my life. Look at Rebecca. She's like, drum roll. I should have done the drum roll before I brought it up. But oh my goodness, how fun is this? I know so many of you love Miss Read, her Fairacre series, her Thrush Green series. I think Fairacre has close to like 20 books. Thrush Green, I think, has like a dozen books. Um, and and the fact that when I didn't even know she wrote nonfiction, but this one is called A Fortunate Grandchild, and it is about her two grandmothers. And I have to read this here. Um, Miss Read has written so extensively about the English countryside that it may come as a surprise to learn that she was a London child until the age of 7. During those early years, she was in almost daily contact with Grandma Read, her mother's mother, who lived in a typical late Victorian house in Lewisham. Equally dear was her paternal grandmother, Grandma Scaife, who lived at Walton on the Naze in Essex, where most of the family holidays were spent. The welcome there was somewhat overshadowed by Grandpa Schaif's presence, um, but his religious beliefs of a fanatically narrow variety would have cast more gloom if it had not been for the bubbling affection and good spirits of his wife. Miss Read's vivid memories of her two grandmothers and their families give an unforgettable picture of everyday living in the shadow of the First World War, seen through the eyes of a fortunate grandchild. How lovely is that? Doesn't that just sound delightful? I just kind of started to dip into it just a very little bit. Um, and um and there's like a little author's note, and she dedicates it to those who shared my two grandmothers. Isn't that so lovely? So and then there's old pictures. There's this cute little illustration on the back. I just thought, how lovely is this? Miss Reed was an instant draw, and then the lovely reminiscences of her grandmothers. You know, if you were fortunate like I am to have lovely grandmothers, or if you are a grandmother yourself, it might be it sounds like such a heartwarming, touching book. And when I saw it, and when I saw the cover and I saw it was Miss Reed, I was like, I need it. I need to have it. So I'll be interested to kind of delve into that a little bit more. Look at all the love. Oh my goodness. Look at all of your comments. I love this. Oh my goodness, so cool, right? Just I didn't even know it existed. So that's the fun of I'm so glad you guys are here to celebrate with me. That's the fun of going to like these book sales. You just never know. You find things you didn't know were going to exist. You find things you've been looking for. Um Lori says she's a grandma, so she loves that as well. Um, Megan said she just discovered Miss Reed this summer. So, Miss Reed, such lovely Miss Reed books. So, Kelly's like Walton on the name. Isn't that awesome? You gotta love these names. Sounds so interesting, doesn't it? Just wonderful. Just like Karen said, just wonderful. Um, yeah, cozy, homey, just the perfect kind of books that I'm looking for here at Small Home Comforts. And I just love that Jean is saying what a great find. I just love that that we can all like appreciate this together. When I found these, I was like, I can't wait to show my people on a Thursday night. Like I just knew that you were gonna love it as much as I did. So that is just such the joy of being part of this community. So thank you for getting into the spirit of it with me. I'm going to come over really quickly to Instagram. So Jacqueline says that Miss Reed book is a gem. I can imagine the elation you felt when you saw that. Oh my gosh, I was like, at first I didn't even. I really had to look at it because I didn't see Miss Reed right away because I just saw this beautiful um illustration. And that, but when I saw Miss Reed, oh my gosh, you are right, Jacqueline. I was like, grab it now. Amanda says, "What a find! Looks absolutely wonderful." Amanda has a nonfiction book about Maud Hart Lovelace. So I was admiring her book about an author, and now I have a book about an author too. It's not the same one. That one sounded like a good one that she had as well. But that's so fun. So fun. So all right, are we ready for what we're reading now? We will end like we usually do. If you would like to share what you're reading now, I would love to share it with everybody. And while you are, what Kelly says, oh, wow. Another names. Either way, Kelly, it's so fun. It's so fun. Corey said she would have been shrieking. It was in the library, so I wasn't shrieking, but I was snatching it before anybody else saw it because I was like, I need it now. Oh, thanks for celebrating that with me. So fun. Okay, are we ready to share what we're reading now? Let me know in the comments what you're reading now, and I will share it with everybody. And then I will share with you what I'm reading now. I'm going to take, even though it's getting stuck in my throat a little bit, I'm going to take another sip of this apple cider because it is really so good. You guys, everybody's got to have to try this. If you like apple cider and you like chamomile tea steeped apple cider. If you weren't here at the beginning, we talked all about it, and it is really good. All right. What I am reading now, which will come as no surprise to any of you because I told you I was going to read it, is Penhallow by Georgette Heyer. So those of you who are new here may not know, but I am doing a read through the year of all of Georgette Heyer's um, mystery books. So Georgette Heyer wrote 12 mystery novels in addition to all her romance novels. You can see some of her romance novels are here that I have. But of the 12 mystery novels, I thought, you know what? I am going to read. I like to, and I wrote a whole blog post about it at the beginning of the year. I like to spend the year with a particular author. A couple years ago, I read Jane Austen, all of Jane's six major works. I read one every 2 months and spent the year with Jane Austen, and it was lovely. So that was 2023. So the following year, I was like, who do I want to spend the year with this year? And I had never read all of the Betsy Tacy books, and so I decided last year, 2024, I read through all of the Betsy Tacy books, one per month, except for 1 month there were two because there were 13 books. And I blogged about it as I read through it. And this year, I picked as my author Georgette Heyer, and specifically her mystery books. And so for the month of September, Penhallow is the title. I have not been reading much because of all that going on with the book box. I've been working behind the scenes to get that out to you guys, and then of course planning for the future boxes. So just as a little side note, I do have some of the book box slots, subscriber slots still available. If you would like to become a subscriber, I'm not going to be opening any new slots in the winter. So if you want to get in for fall and winter, now's the time to do it because in the winter there won't be any new ones. And I'm already working on the winter box too, which I'm very excited about that title, but we'll get to that in time. But and then, of course, I'm going to be having a one-time special Christmas box like I did last year. And so I'm working on that as well. So because I'm working on all of those, I haven't gotten too far into this one. And it is rather chunky. So usually my blog post goes up at the end of the month. This one may have to be extended out a little bit because the book box takes priority. So I will be packing up all of your book boxes this weekend. And of course, that comes out October 1st. I'll get it all sent out to you. But this is the one that I'm reading now, and it is about Penhallow is the name of the elderly, crotchety gentleman whose household this all takes place in, and I believe he um, is the one who's going to be ousted. But he had a cruel and vicious nature, and so his family, where there's a lot in his family, all come in as suspects in his unusual death. So we shall see. I will, of course, have the blog post on that, maybe a little later than usual, but it will go up. So. Um, Oh, Megan says she's looking forward to the Christmas box too. So this will be the Christmas box is not part of the subscription. The Christmas box is a one-time book box, just for either gift giving or gift giving to yourself, and more details to come. But first, the fall box. We're going to finish that first, and there will be more details towards the end of October for the Christmas box. All right, let's see what you are reading now. Teresa is reading A Newberry Halloween. That sounds perfect for this time of year. Oh, I bet you that's lovely. I love to look back at the old Newberries and see what they've got going. So that's lovely. Martha is loving A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey. Awesome. Oh, this is such a good series. I'm so glad you like it. I love Miss or Lady Hardcastle and her maid Flo. Oh my goodness, such good books. I'm glad you like them. I always love to hear when people when people like my recommendations. I love hearing about it. Um, Marilyn started the third Maisie Dobbs and continuing the Q and Julius Caesar. Lovely. I have read two of the Maisie Dobbs, so I have to start the third one too. Maisie is good for this time of year. I feel like she's a lot more solemn. Her books are Maisie Dobbs books are a lot more solemn. So Megan is reading A Light in the Window, Trixie Belden #7. Susan Branch is A Fine Romance, and listening to Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Don't you love having different books for different moods? Whether you're like going to bed and this is your going to bed book, or I'm still working on Anne of Windy Poplars too. And I've been taking Anne of Windy Poplars over to, we have a pond nearby us, and sitting by the pond and reading, which has been lovely. So I've got a couple books going at the same time as well. Susan is reading Emily Davis by Miss Reed. See, I knew you guys loved Miss Reed. And very slowly reading Don Quixote. Lovely. Karen is reading Lost in Thought, Pen Hollow. Karen's been following along with my Georgette Heyer mysteries. So, and Betsy in the Great World. Oh, Betsy Tacy. Lovely, lovely. Um, let's see over here on Instagram. Jacqueline is still reading Pink Sugar. Oh, I heard about that one. I heard good things by O. Douglas and started Death in the Stocks by Georgette Heyer. What do you think about? I'll be interested once you finish Death in the Stocks, Jacqueline. I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts were on it because I had some thoughts on that particular one. So that would be interesting. No, your comment didn't drop. I see you asking if your comment dropped. Pink Sugar by O. Douglas. We see that one. Like I said, I've heard good things about Pink Sugar and I've heard good things about O. Douglas as well, but it's a new to me author, so I haven't read that one. Jacqueline says it's very good. She likes that one. Amanda is reading the Betsy Tacy Companion. See, I told you, Amanda has an amazing book, a nonfiction book about Maud Hart Lovelace. And The Haunting of Hill House. And she says, talk about opposites. Well, it just depends on what kind of mood you are in the moment, right, Amanda? So you have to kind of, feel what your mood read is for the moment, right? I do that as well. So, Susan says that O. Douglas is fantastic and that her favorite is Penny Plain. I have heard of Penny Plain. So I'm going to have to get into O. Douglas because I've heard such good things. So Megan is saying for herself, of course, for the Christmas book box. I can't wait, Megan. I hope you're gonna like it. I think you will based on some of the conversations we've had here. So Lori says that she's starting tonight a brief of Montmary about a crumbling castle in a journal. That sounds awesome. I don't know this one, but I'm intrigued. Anything with a castle, right? That sounds lovely. Teresa is saying it's 12 scary. So this is the Newberry one, Halloween Newberry or Newberry Halloween. It's 12 scary tales by Newberry Award winners. It sounds really good. That sounds awesome. I love it. Oh, you guys always have the best recommendations and you always know how to celebrate with me when I have such fun finds. So, all right. Amanda is saying that she's definitely a mood reader over here. See, that's why you need two different kinds of books going at the same time because it depends on how you're feeling. All right, book friends, I am going to sign off for tonight. This has been delightful. Oh, wait, before I sign off, Michelle is here. She's got what she's reading now. Hello, Michelle. An Edible History of Humanity. This sounds like a food book. This sounds by Tom Standage. I don't know it, but it sounds like a food book. I bet you it's a good one. That one sounds lovely. I love like food memoirs and food. Sometimes I just read cookbooks. So sounds interesting. I love it. All right, I'm going to sign off for tonight. I'm going to have to finish my, I may have to reheat it because I think it's probably cooled off by now. But this has just been so lovely. Thank you for joining me this evening here at Small Home Comforts. Of course, I will be on social media so you can connect with me there. And if you are watching on the replay on YouTube, would you hit the like button and or maybe subscribe to the channel because we would love to have you join our cozy bookish community here. Where we talk about what we're reading now and drink tea together on Thursday nights. So, yeah, that's it from me. We'll see you again next Thursday night. And in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful